Better butter, butter, better butter, butter. What's up, guys? Sorry it's been so long. Life's been in the way. I haven't forgotten about YouTube. I haven't quit. Just been busy doing other things at the moment. And lately, I've been talking to a tuner. I've been missing racing. I've been wanting to get back out there. I've been wanting to start driving again. I have a GoPro. We went racing like last weekend and it was a lot of fun. I think I got a couple of runs recorded, but they're from a terrible angle. Still trying to figure out GoPros in the car and whatnot. Took the RX-7, not this thing, just simply because this thing's still not tuned. Which brings me to my current point. I have been talking to a tuner lately because my goal for next year is to get this car tuned, up and running, put a boost controller in it, and get all the little gremlins that are going on with it fixed, and hopefully some more surprises for this for you guys coming up soon. I do actually have some projects for it sitting on shelves at the moment, and I just haven't had time. The bathroom project is almost done. We are really close to doing it. Won't go too far into detail, but I probably got like another weekend or two's worth of work, and hopefully we can get back to making more regular videos for you guys. I haven't sold the RX-7. It's just still sitting at my parents' place because my garage is still being used for projects for the bathroom. Right now we're doing other things. So anyway, today's video, or it might be multiple days, so if you see an outfit change somewhere in the middle, you know I had to go to dinner or something. But today's video we are going to be fixing my cooling fan problem. And I was kind of dumb and I kind of cut my harness a little prematurely without actually figuring out what something did before I cut it, so my bad. So for you guys that are modifying cars, you guys decided to cut up your electrical systems, be careful. Definitely do your research. So anyway, right now I have the fans just wired from my battery to a switch in the cabin and then to the fans, and I know that's really dumb. And so today we're fixing it. So for you guys that don't know how to, so anyway, for today I'm going to be selling a relay, and hopefully you guys can check out the wiring diagrams. I'll have a link to the wiring diagram for what I'm doing for this car down below. I went ahead and made a website. I'm still kind of working out it, ironing out the kinks, and I hopefully want to make it better, so it's something that I want to do on the side. If you guys don't know, I actually am a software developer for a living, so I do want to actually write my own website. Right now it's doing Squarespace, or not Squarespace, excuse me, WordPress. And no, I'm not sponsored, just using it because it's free and it's supposed to be a good blogging tool. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with that. We'll tear apart my dash and we'll run new wiring. Yay. No, don't really want it, but let's get to work because projects don't do themselves. Okay, so right now my fan is currently wired like this. Ground, and then runs like this to your switch, and then to your fan. Now this is really bad because this point right here ends up burning up because the switch can't handle the current. Oh, there is a fuse in here too, but that's beside the point. So anyway, this part ends up burning up because it's the weak point in the system. So this is the reason for using a relay. So if you look at how we currently have it set up, so you guys can see how it's all drawn out, because it's really hard to show you inside the car how it's wired up. We are putting in this relay, which it's going to have a handful of numbers on it. Let's call this one 86, and then we'll do this one, which is going to be 30, and then we'll do this one as 85, and this one as 87. Now 87 is always the output for your fan, or for your thing that you want to get powered. So in this case that's our fan. So this is going to run to our fan, and then you take your fan, which has another wire coming out of it, which will just be your ground wire. So you'll run that just go over here and just call it your ground, which that would be your ground symbol. And then 85 is going to be your, well, actually, let's do 30 first, because 30 is going to be your power. So this is going to be your hot wire. So this is going to come over here, and here's your battery. So positive and the negative. And so here this is, and this is going to run over here. Now in this, you're going to want to put a fuse somewhere in it. So we'll do something like that. And that's our fuse. And in this case, because it's a fan, we want to run a 30 amp fuse. And then for 86 and 85, this is going to be what turns on this connection here. So in this case, you'll have a 86 will be like a power wire, but this will be like accessory on power. So somewhere in your car, you're gonna get accessory on. Now for me, I'm using my Mega Squirt. So there's a pin out on it that's just 12 volt switched power. So as soon as I turn the key on to the accessory position, it'll send power into here. And then out 85, this goes to your toggle switch, or you can just use your accessory as your toggle switch. But in my case, this is just the actual physical switch in the car. So there's our switch, and then you run that off, and then you ground it. And so once this is on, this will complete the circuit, and that will turn this circuit on, which then turns your fan on. Now alternatively, you can also add another type of switch on this circuit here. You can take it right, like say right here, before your switch coming out of 85, and before your switch you run another one, and you can run this to another switch, so like a fan switch, so like a coolant temp sensor. So if you run this to a coolant switch, you know, like one that comes on at 190 degrees or whatever, it will also regulate it instead of you having to do it. So this would be an even fancier one, which I'll convert this circuit to at a later point. But this would be a slightly fancier circuit, which is also manually overridden, or a switched one from your coolant temp. So this is the wiring, and let's get on with our installation, guys. Okay guys, so to do this job, you're gonna need a relay, you're gonna need some wiring, and a car, and an electric fan. I'll leave links in the description down below for you guys to go ahead and buy product that'll make this project work for you. You will also need a pair of wire strippers and crimpers, or solder if you want to use that, a lighter, some heat shrink, and some little spade connectors for female style. Now you can buy plugs that are all in one, and this will work the same, and those are actually probably a little easier, to be honest, but I've never actually had them for whatever reason. So anyway, for your relay, you are going to have 4 plugs on it, similar to this. Okay, so on your relay, you'll have 4 spades, and they'll be numbered 30, 85, 86, and 87. Now each one of these does a different thing. So if you want to think about a relay, you can think of it as like a switch that turns on another switch. So basically, like if you want to send high current to something, which your radiator fans are a high current item, you don't have to pass that current through a switch itself, which is liable to burn up. So you would run low current through one, and then ground the signal at the switch coming out another side, and then you'll run high current through one, and then high current out the other side, which is switched by that low current switch, and that other side will go out to your radiator fans. And your radiator fans will obviously be grounded on your chassis somewhere. So going through this really quickly, 30 is going to be your 12 volt fused battery power, or you know, your switched power or whatever. This is basically going to be your hot wire, one coming from your battery that's going to have high current. 87 is where that power is going to come out. So what you're going to do is you're going to do from your battery, you're going to go straight into this with a fuse, and then you're going to come out this and go straight out to your fan on plug 87 on this, or on the relay. And then on the other side of things, 86 is going to be a 12 volt switched power, and 85, I think it's 85, should be the wire that runs over to your switch, and your switch, the other end of your switch will be grounded to the chassis. And when you flip your switch, it should complete the whole circuit. So I went ahead and pre-made the wire to run into the cabin to run up to my switch. Now I have a wire coming straight from the battery to the switch in my cabin and then into the fans. So I'm going to just take those, cut the ring terminals off of them, and go ahead and just solder them or butt connector them together underneath the dash. So that will complete my line going to the fans. So I'm going to steal that wire coming off my battery and then cut it and make 2 butt connectors off of it. And then I have one more wire that I already made, and this one I will steal the 12 volt signal coming from my cabin and wire it into this. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that one. So, if you guys want to know how I make my wire connections, or at least how I should be making them, take your wire, obviously strip back maybe like ½ inch or so. You really don't need to strip back too much. Stick your connector on like you would normally, and then for crimping down, if you're a cheapo like me and you get Harbor Freight tools, this is actually a pretty good tool for stripping. But if you're going to use it for crimping, I only ever use the blue connector because it actually makes a decent punch on it. So put it in, make a decent punch, give it a good squeeze, give it a good test fit, and you can see that it's decently in there. And then I like to take heat shrink, especially with your like female spade terminals, like on the relay that we just did. Cover up the actual connection point so it doesn't short out on anything. On this one, because it's fairly safe and behind the dash and tucked away, we're just going to cover up the back end like this with a little heat shrink. And if I can find my lighter, just take your heat shrink, light it up. And once all this melts, you're good to go. You've got a good connection. Now this is my ground wire, so I'm going to be doing another ring terminal. Excuse the smoking. I am holding it in one place too long. Don't touch that for a second, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to quickly do the other side and back to my install. Okay guys, moment of truth. Fans all wired up. Let's go ahead and turn the ignition on and see if the fans turn on. And if I turn the ignition off, the fans should not come on this time. Ignition on. Fans. Behold, I have fans. Beautiful. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down below. Remember, links in the details. I'll link all the things that you guys can purchase to make this project work for yourself. It's a fairly inexpensive project. Kind of cool if you mess your wiring harness up and your fans don't work anymore, or race car. So fun stuff. See you guys next time.